Hi everyone. So after completing our normal analysis from the payroll example, today we shall be looking at pivot tables. All right. So today we'll be looking at pivot tables. And what are pivot tables? Pivot tables, we use them in summarizing our data and makes things much easier for us. All right. So it makes us have in fact what you will use your normal Excel formula to do, but using pivot tables makes the job just easier and you're going to love it. So we use pivot tables in financial analysis to help us to create our dashboards very easily. All right, so this is very important. So let's dive in. So before we look at that, this is our data sets. Like I said, this is our payroll sheet. And then this is an overview. We have an overview here of what we want to, the insight we want to get into the data so that we can build a dashboard around it. So the first thing, we have the salary overview, the tax deduction analysis, the overtime bonuses, and all of that. So we're going to be doing that using pivot tables, and it's very easy. Now, to use pivot tables, you can go to insert. So make sure you're on your data. Insert, then under insert, you have recommended pivots are generated for us there already, but we want to create our own self. So you can look at this recommended pivots, every salary, Canada, that's the country, and the sum of salary that is paid in that particular country. But we want to create this ourselves, so we go to pivot here and double click on it. Go to pivot here, double click on it, and of course look at the table, the name of our table. Now here, if you want these pivot tables to be on this sheet, you click on existing sheet, but we want it to create a new sheet, so we click on new worksheet. All right, so click on new worksheet, we click OK. Now we have our beautiful pivot, something here looking strange and all of that. I know you'll be wondering what is this thing doing here and all of that. Okay, but we are going to use it for data summarization and then further use it to create our beautiful dashboards. All right, so from here, let's look at our summary again. Remember how we were using normal Excel formulas in doing our analysis. Now pivot makes the job very easy. It's like just click and drop. All right, it's just very easy. Okay, so the first thing we want to see under our salary and payroll overview is the total payroll cost. Okay, that's the sum of gross pay. Okay, the sum of gross pay, right? So for us to do this, let's go back to the sheet that it created. Of course, we can rename this, but let's do that later. So we have this so it's talking about sum of gross pay. So you scroll and let's check where there's gross pay. You click on it, make sure it drops here in the values. Of course, you can put it anywhere, but we want it to be in the values. And there you go, you have the sum of the gross pay without having to do anything. And I don't want this grid lines here, so I want to remove that. You go to view and uncheck this. Now we have it more plain and beautiful. All right, so going back to our data here, you have the sum of net pay. Of course, we're still going to do the same thing. I'm going to click on insert, another insert, pivots, click on pivot table. Make sure you type the table name, which is payroll. Now we're going to click on new worksheet. Click on new worksheet. No, we want it to be on this sheet. All right, so click on existing sheet and click OK. Oh, and then you have your pivot here. So what do we want to find? Total net pay. So you go and select total net pay. Where are you? Scroll down. Yep, look at it here. Total net pay, and make sure it's on the sum. So you have the sum of total net pay. Okay, look at how this is very easy, right? So going back to this place, you have average mean of basic salary. Okay, so we are looking at average mean. Remember, if you are using a normal formula, Excel formula, you need to find the total, find the average, write the average formula. But this pivot tables makes things much easier. So remember, go to insert again, pivot, and of course the name of our table should always be written, and then we want it on this existing sheet. So click OK. Now we want the average of basic salary. So let's tick the basic salary first, and then where are you? Yep, basic salary. So but the thing is, what we got here is the sum of basic salary, and we cannot see average here. So what we're going to do, so we're going to right click here on the pivots table and go to summarize values by, you have count, you have average, you have maximum, you have minimum, you have product. So we are looking for average. So so here you go, you have average here. Good. So the next thing we're going to do, let's check. So just have everything is very smooth and easy. So you have top 10 earners. Oh, how are we gonna do this? Top 10 earners, employees with the highest net pay. Okay, so we're using net pay. Okay, let's go to sheet again. Gosh, top 10. Now I'm going to create a new pivot table to do that job for us. Of course, payroll, and on an existing sheet, and click OK. Oh, spelling problem. Payroll just 2L. Okay, so we have a beautiful pivot table here, and then what we want from it is top 10 what. So we got the name of the employee, and then we'll get their net pay, and then find the top 10. Good. Now that we have found the employee and their net pay, what are we going to do on this? We want to find just the top 10. Okay, so right here, I'm going to click on this drop down here. All right, so we have label filter and value filters. So in this case, we're going to use value filters to filter the values. All right, so for value filters, you have top 10 here, right? Good. So you can change it to top 5 here, top 10, depending on what you want. So but we want top 10, so we maintain our 10, and then we click OK, and then you have the top 10. All right, so it makes things very easy. And of course, you can rename this column here to employees. All right, so yep, employees. I want it first is capital. Perfect. Good. So you have this already. Okay, so that's beautiful. So that's just very easy. Now let's go again. Okay, from here. So what again? Under tax and deduction analysis. Okay, tax deduction analysis. Okay, so we're going to do a little analysis under our tax. So the first thing is total tax deducted. Okay, so let's use this start pivot. Under pivot we have payroll, and on the existing sheet, of course, then you click OK. So what we are looking at is total tax deductions. So there you go. So you have that. Now next thing we are looking at is the total taxes and basic salary. Okay, total taxes and basic salary. Now what we want to do is we want to create a percentage kind of ratio between taxes and basic salary. Okay, the difference was the difference, okay, in taxes and basic salary. Okay, so we want to find out how many percent is paid as basic salary and how many percent is going on taxes. All right, so that from the company they want to know whether their employees are overtaxed or how much percentage is going into taxes. All right, so that's from the total pay. So that is very easy. We're going to create a table here, right? So we already have tax deduction and we have basic salary here. So if we want, we can still call them, but see no need for that. Yep, so let me click on this and see if I can. Okay, so we can write it right here. So I would love to write the whole same thing, sum of tax. I would have gone straight to the percentage, but I would have gone deduction, B, make a bird, and then this we have equal to, and then click this so that we can have those values there. And then we have our basic salary. Have our basic salary. Oh my god, basic salary, which is equal to this. Good. So now that you have this, we want to get the percentage. Remember, what we are looking at specially is the percentage of the tax. Remember, what we are doing is tax analysis. Okay, so to get that percentage of tax, so to get that percentage, we have to take what? We have to take the tax and multiply it with this, with the, or divide rather, basic salary. Okay, tax deduction divided by this. Click OK. All right, so we have this as our percentage of the taxes. All right, so you go to percent and click on percent, so that means it's 20%. So let's go ahead and find percentage of basic salary. Okay, percentage of basic salary. So under percentage of basic salary, instead of doing something new, what we are going to do is we just say equal to 100 minus, or we can say 1 minus this, right? Good. And then we have our percentage 80%. Good. So that is it. Very simple. Now the next thing we want to find out is from this sheet yourself. Okay, so we're going to use pie chart for visualization later. So we have tax comparison, that's tax distribution across employees. Very simple. So let's come back to this side again, and then charts, pivots, cost, payroll, and then okay, so we want tax distribution around employees, so tax, right? So you have that, taxes and the employees, so you have that. Okay, so what else? From taxon, we're done with tax, so we're going to overtime and bonuses overview. So under overtime and bonuses, we want the total overtime hours. All right, so that's very cheap. I'm sure you can get that by now, so let's do it here. Meanwhile, let me put this in, add some borders around this, so can add some borders around this borders. Okay, good. So I want to get the total, what do you call that, overtime hours, okay, spent by employees. So very simple, go to pivot, so you have payroll, and okay, and when you click on that, it's going to be very simple for us to find. So let's go to the overtime hours, click on it. So it's the sum of overtime hours spent by our employees. Okay, so let's go to the next thing. We have count of employees per country. Okay, this is interesting. Remember, if you're using normal Excel formula to do this, it will take you all right, so we're going to use this to do that on our pivot. Click on pivots, then payroll, and okay. So what we are doing is, let's see it again. We have Okay, the first thing here is breakdown of how much overtime is given. Okay, overtime pay distribution. Okay, overtime pay distribution, that will be pay an employee. Yeah, employee. Okay, so let's do that before we move into the other one. So of course, just select the employee and then the overtime pay. Makes it simple and easy. So the next thing we want to do is what? Let's see. Total bonuses distributed per department. Total bonuses distributed per department. Yep, very easy. So we're going to create a new pivot. New pivots. So can you see that pivot tables is just very beautiful and sweet to use. So under this, I'm going to insert pivot and then payroll and click OK. So under this, we want what? We want total bonuses distributed per department. So we have to go to our bonuses. So department, that's position, and then our bonuses here. Perfect. So I'll name this to position. Right, so you have that right there waiting for you right here. So these guys are earning accountants. Okay, you can even sort this out to see who is earning more. So filter by values. Okay, do we really want to filter? I think we can work around this. Sort home, sort smallest to largest, largest to smallest. So you see software engineers are earning the most here. Now web developers, you have financial manager, accountant, IT manager, salesperson, and founder zero. Really, what's going on here? Founder zero. Okay, let's check what's going on here. Okay, founder has no bonus, of course. Maybe founder has no bonus. Okay, I understand now. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is let's check again. We have age distribution of employees ages. Okay, some of these things we may use them on our dashboard, some we may not. Okay, but this very easy again. So I'm just giving several examples so that no matter what, we understand pivot tables. So under this, I'm talking about age distribution. Then click age, and you have it here, right here with you. Makes things easy, right? Yeah, but good. So the next thing we're going to do there is country representation count. Remember when we are counting using the count, and the normal Excel formula can take a little time, but we're looking at count of employees per country. So how are we going to achieve this count of employees per country? Okay, so let's go into our sheet again. So insert and trust God to use pivot tables. So what we're talking about there is the country and the position. Okay, let's check it's talking about count of employees, okay, per country. Okay, so let's go. So if you place it on the values, right, so you can get the count. Let's check the question again. Count of employees, so it's employees that we're counting, okay, not the position. So count of employees. So under this position we have employee. So employee employee. So we are counting count of employee per country. So in Canada 1, Ghana 11, all of that makes it a lot simple here. How many do we have much in Nigeria? Okay, good. So this makes this thing very easy. Okay, so what's the next thing that we have done? Remember, we're just going to number of employees per job role. Okay, that's position, right? So let's just create another. Yep. And then payroll, click OK, and then you have this, which is looking at what number of employees per job, number of employees. So when you hear number, you know that we're talking about values. So number of employees, click on this and make sure it's on values per job, as position. So you have it right here. So you have accountant, this CO1, content manager, all of these things sorted out by. So this is the power of pivot tables. Make your analysis easy, make your some data summarization easy. Instead of writing Excel formulas, you are just writing with pivot tables. So we're going to be creating dashboard on this in our next video. Thank you. Make sure you watch it and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.
Stay consistent and you'll see the results. Join Marcconnect today and get your career to another level. Marcconnect, making global impact through technology.